screen as it comes up. So there's a little bit of workshopping here, and there's some new material we're going to run through as well. You guys can see this screen, right? Showing up here that says wealth creation, beautiful. So wealth creation leadership. By the way, big thank you to M, who likes the new look that you put up. We're still fixing it up a little bit, but who thinks it's great video? Can you guys put some comments in the chat group to just say thanks to M? She was multitasking the other day while we were playing sequence, and she lost. I mean, they had a good team, but they said they lost because of M, but I don't think that's the case because M can multitask really well, but we'll use that as an excuse, right? M, amazing job. Right, Kem, so loser. There, move on, Ruben. All right, I'm moving on. Guys, we're talking about the next step from freedom. And it's not to freedom, but living from freedom, a place in freedom. This is our series. Elijah, good to see you on. I love seeing young people on. Elijah, welcome. Hyacinth's friend. It was great to see you the other day as well. So guys, today we're going to talk about the power of thought. And we're going to have an exercise in between that goes back to what we were doing last week. So even if you missed out on last week and get the video, you wouldn't have. I try and make every session individual in itself, but also it's connected as we journey. For those who are on every single week, well done, excellent job. Now look at this. This is crazy. All right, and I want you to read. It's a little bit, a little bit of writing there. The mind's limitless power. The first thing it says here, your conscious mind controls brain activity just 5% of the day. Your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind controls brain activity and your thoughts 95% of the day. That is crazy, right? So I want you to think about what you're thinking about, because this is the part of the series of our dreaming and dreaming big and manifesting our dreams into reality. It's important to know our thoughts as well. That little voice inside your head that says, I can't do this, is not your friend. How many of you would agree with that? All right. If you would, just put a 1 in the chat group, because that is important to know. Every time it's, I can't do this. All right, Margaret, we had that chat today. I can't do this. A lot of us are going through that right now. And especially because you know why? You're rebranding. You're refocusing. You're changing what you were. You're not happy with the norm of what was, and it's time to change, or circumstances are changing, so it's time to change over. All right. You have, this is crazy. I thought only women had this, but we all have this 70,000 thoughts per day. I just think they say women get it out better than men, but I talk a lot more than my wife, and she agrees with me. So there you go. Your thoughts, whatever worries and troubles you, controls you. How true is that? Thoughts become things. You are confined only by the dominating negative thoughts of your past. Wow. Your brain is constantly developing. It continues to develop new neurons throughout your life in response to mental activity. So it's never too late to learn. When you say, there's an old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, can't change a leopard spots. That's not true. Don't limit your behavior to think that way. It's always possible to learn new things and to actually rewire our brain. So it doesn't matter what age we're at. I'm super excited to see, Elijah and Hyacinth here, who are in their teenage years. And then super excited to see today, our eldest didn't make it here because she's with her son who's having some cancer treatment. But, she's 70 in her 70s, and everyone is in between, right? Because no one older than that, right? Unless you get mom on. And so everyone in between, you're never too old to learn new things, guys. And in fact, we should be learning over and over again, constantly. So I want us to read this. You can read it out to yourself and scare yourself, but stay muted. Thoughts are pictures of the mind that have constructive or destructive potential. Thoughts also have power and create realities, and the quickest way to affect your thoughts is through mental pictures. How many of you have mental pictures, probably more negative than positive, because that's the world we've grown up in? But now when we change that, it's amazing to see what can take place. You've got to see first in your mind the things you desire for your life. Think the right thoughts, speak the right words, and receive the results of the word in your life. Okay? How you think is going to be is really powerful. And I want to take us through that journey over the next few weeks. So last week we had these 5 questions that I asked you guys to meditate on through the week. Did anyone do that? If you did, you can pop a yes in the chat group. And if you didn't, it's because we don't know what to do with our day. We got so much, we get busy rather than occupied, that we just can't take time to meditate on the things that are important, right? So see, as I thought, no one's done it, right? No one's done the exercise because we all forgot after we left from here. We forgot because we had something else on, and that's okay. But I want to share with you, we'll get to do one of the questions today, and I want to share with you the power of doing things and taking time out for yourself. It's really important. So we're going to answer this question today, and I'll come back to that shortly. The question that says, if you inherit $10 million today, what would you do? We're going to come back to that question, and I'll give you an example of how we're going to talk through that. But I'm just going to start with this teaching first on the power of thought. The power of thought is an incredibly influential concept that suggests our thoughts have the ability to shape our reality. This idea is rooted in both psychological and philosophical principles, suggesting that the way we think directly influences our behavior, emotions, and even our environment. Would you guys agree with that? Okay. That's really important. How do we think? Our thought process. We literally create our own reality. So here's an interesting thought. When you have things that happen to you and you go, oh, I knew that was going to happen. Did you just create that, or did it happen because something bad, someone's out to get you, or were you the creator of the negative that came upon your life? I know it's a blanket statement, and I know there are exceptions to the rules, but I can say to you in all my studies, and I've been studying the mind for decades, and I've used myself as a guinea pig, that the power of our mind creates our reality and how we see ourselves. What M put out of a picture of me, I would not accept that when years back. And even this time I sent a picture to my sister and said, is it okay? Does it look like I'm being too proud? Why? Because there's still a little, and then I realized there's a little bit of a in me that still doesn't fully embrace who I am, right? But in the past, I'd have gone, no, I can't put that out. Doesn't look good. It'll probably come across as I'm proud of myself, and I had a wrong self-image rather than I'm confident and having the knowledge to know that I can put myself out there and the information is attached to a person, not just a screenshot or something else. Make sense? And so your thoughts, how are your thoughts? Are they constructive or deconstructive? Okay, and that's important to think about. Anyone know who this person is? An amazing, amazing man that changed the whole world, changed the nation and influenced the whole world. I love some of the statements he made. Nelson Mandela, and I like what he says here, no easy walk to freedom. All right, 27 years in jail, was, like you could say, the equivalent of a terrorist when he went in because he was trying to blow up places for the sake of peace. That doesn't really work when you're trying to have peace, right? And then came out as a peacekeeper and could have overturned the perpetrators in the nation. But instead of doing that, he said, let's work together as one nation. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. That's the power of thought. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. The power of thought. What's the legacy we're leaving for the generations ahead? Money can't create success. The freedom to make it will. So money can't create success, but the freedom to make it will. And these are some quotes from Nelson Mandela. I love this last one. Only free men can negotiate. Prisoners cannot enter into contracts. So are you a prisoner of your thoughts or your mind? Because only free men can negotiate. Your freedom and mind cannot be separated. How beautiful is that, right? The power of positive thoughts. Positive thinking, for example, can enhance our overall well-being, improve our mental health, and even contribute to physical health benefits. When we maintain optimistic thoughts, we're more likely to feel motivated, make productive choices, and attract positive experiences. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you go to sleep? 1 being 0 being really negative, 10 being really positive. How many of you go to sleep? And just before you go to sleep, what what are your thoughts? Are they positive, negative, or neutral? Neutral is 5. 0 is negative, lots of negative thoughts coming in. 10 is lots of positive thoughts. 5 is neutral. And put if a number in between is either lots of positives with some negatives or lots of negatives with some positives. Put a number in the chat group. I want to see what you guys feel. When you're about to go to sleep at night, what sort of thoughts are running through your head? Okay. And let's be vulnerable, on it, open. Okay. Awesome. 7s, 4s, 6, 7, 8s, 4s. All right. 7s. Okay. Beautiful. Now, the next question is the same thing on a scale of 1 to 10, 0, on a scale of 0 to 10, sorry, 0 being very negative thoughts, 10 being very positive thoughts, and 5 being neutral, neither or. When you wake up in the morning, what sort of thoughts are running through your head when you wake up in the morning? Because you might find that one is stronger, certain emotions are stronger, and thoughts are stronger in the morning than they are at night, and vice versa. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, and so for everyone who's put neutral, 4, 5, 6 or neutral, 5 being neutral, I want you to be more mindful of your thoughts, because you do have thoughts regardless. And you might not be mindful of them or sure of them. Okay. And for the others who've got, anywhere between 3s to 7s, which is where we're tending to be hanging, let's see how we can change the ones that are in the lower end. And let's see how you can celebrate what's in the higher end, because the higher end of those thoughts is what leads to better imagination, and the imagination is what leads to the manifestation of amazing dreams, right? Hyacinth, this is for you. You know who this guy is? You want to unmute and tell me whether you like him or not? Yeah.
Yeah, I do like him.
Can you read what he said here?
In football, everything is possible from the moment you work and you believe in your quality.
Amazing. So who is Mbappe to you?
The GOAT.
The goat. The last week, I don't know if anyone remember when Hyacinth was doing his introduction, he said he's one of his mentors that he really looks up to is this chap. And I went, oh, since when did you meet him? I'd love to meet him too. But, he has been influenced by him through what he sees of him and how he sees him running. Now, the power of his thinking is so amazing that he has been able to achieve things that are incredible, right? Right, Hyacinth? He's been able to do stuff that others haven't been able to do. Is there anything you can think of off your mind? I know I'm saying this off the cuff for you, Hyacinth, but is there anything comes to mind that you can think, oh yeah, that was amazing what he did because of his positive thinking?
His people said that he got influenced by Cristiano Ronaldo, and people said that he couldn't make it to the top. And by his positive thinking, he's one of the best players on the planet right now because of his positive thinking and what he got influenced by Cristiano Ronaldo. And yeah, that's what I can think, and that's his mentality. He's like, even if people tell me I cannot become, his mentality is I will become, and I am.
Wow, I love it. I will become and I am. All right, beautiful. Remember, one of the things you talked about with dreams is speak like as if it is happening right now. He says we must always set the bar high, otherwise, we do not progress. If the team needs you, you need to sacrifice. Like the greats, you want to make your own story yourself and not be a copy of another. I am happy and I'm living the life I always what? Dreamed of, right? The power of dreams. Okay, this is not just going to bed and having a dream that you couldn't control. This is about you controlling your dreams and manifesting them into reality. And if you're everywhere, then you get nowhere, right? How many of you know that if you aim at nothing, you shoot what? Nothing. You're not going to shoot something. All right. And if you clear, really laser focused, how do you get laser focused? Start with your dreams, start manifesting your dreams, and we're going to do an exercise that's going to really help you with that as well. Now, on the other hand, guys, we want to talk about the destruction of negative thoughts and how destructive it is. On the other hand, negative thought patterns can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors. I have been a good client of this, of self-sabotaging in areas in my life. And if any of you have as well, pop a one in the chat group. Stress and poor mental health. Recognizing this power can help us make conscious efforts to redirect our thoughts towards what we want to achieve effectively, aligning our actions with our goals. All right. Anyone else self-sabotages? Anyone else feels like, they have these amazing dreams and then they go to put it on paper, they go to execute, and it's like, I'm just stumped, right? If you are, pop a one in there, right? If you feel like that. But here's the good thing, guys. I love the fact that you're putting a one in, because why? The fact that you self-sabotage meant that you had something to move towards. Okay. And so what we want to do is get rid of the roadblocks. Or if you feel like you've had stress or poor mental health, that sort of behavior we can start to change. Okay, because that's important. How many of you know of this beautiful singer, Adele? Right? I really love her vulnerability that I read about recently. It says, I have a very dark side. I'm very available to depression. Wow, that's a very confronting statement. I'm available to depression. The 10-time Grammy winner continued to say that her depression began when she was 10 years old. Guys, 10 years old. After her grandfather passed away. She doesn't have suicidal thoughts, but Adele admits that she does see a therapist regularly. I can slip in and out of depression quite easily, the Hello singer said. Perhaps Adele's most surprising news she reveals in the interview is that she suffered from postmortem depression after the birth of a son, Angelo. However, while most mothers with postmortem don't want to be around their children, Adele was attached to hers and she just felt like she wasn't good enough. I was obsessed with my child, Adele said. I felt very inadequate. I felt like I'd made the worst decision of my life. Postmortem depression can come in many different forms. Adele keeps the depression at bay by scheduling one afternoon a week to do whatever she wants without Angelo. A friend of mine said, really, don't you feel bad? I said, I do, but not as bad as I'd feel if I didn't do it. She said, 4 of my friends felt the same way I did, and everyone was too embarrassed to talk about it. They thought everyone would think they were a bad mom, and it's not the case. It makes you a better mom if you give yourself a better time. Is it speaking to anyone? Not just the moms, but even the non-moms and the dads, the males, the singles, the young people, the old people. 10 years old, depression. We couldn't agree more. The idea that your happiness doesn't matter when you have a child is grossly inaccurate and dangerous. It's so important for mothers to make sure they are okay too. Thank you, Adele, for opening up about a subject many mothers are afraid to discuss. The destruction of negative thoughts. It's very important for us to be aware of the negative thoughts in our mind. That is so, so important. The next thing is the power of visualization. The idea of the power of thought is also linked to concepts like visualization, where imagining successful outcomes helps manifest those results, as well as the law of attraction, which posits that thinking about positive or negative outcomes tend to bring those experiences into our lives. So that's why I said, do you attract or repel stuff that's happening in your life? If you think this always happens to me, then it'll always happen because you're attracting it. If you think, wow, I'm an amazing person and what I'm creating, this business idea will prosper. It will it's going to have lots of customers. It's going to have lots of income coming. It's going to have lots of potential growth of the brand. Then it's gonna happen. Why? Because as long as you believe in it, it's not just confession, it's believing, manifesting, visualizing, and having no room to let the negative thoughts rent advertising space in your mind. Okay. So who's read this book? And if you have, pop a yes in the chat group. If you haven't, highly, highly recommend you read it. Okay, highly recommend you read it. And if you've read it again. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich, emphasizes the power of visualization as a key component of achieving success. Now, he wrote this in the early 1900s, and it is still one of the best-selling, most highly recommended books. Anywhere you travel, any entrepreneur you speak to, anyone who's made it successfully will talk about this book. Okay, great. 2 people have started reading 3 times. Now, Joanne, go for it. Amazing. All right. And if you haven't, guys, again, not a condemnation, get the book. If you want to read one book for the year, even if it takes you 10 years to read it, get the book. All right. It's really, really powerful. Who's going to get the book? I want you to put it in the chat group. Make a commitment. Okay. Now remember, when we say we're going to do something and make a commitment, there's no condemnation if we don't get there. But at least we're saying together we're going to start doing it. Okay. Awesome. Someone's still reading it. Someone's going to do it. All right. He talks about the importance of having a clear mental image of what you want to achieve. According to Hill, visualizing your goals vividly and repeatedly helps imprint them into your subconscious mind, which then influences your actions and attracts opportunities that align with your vision. Hill often refers to the concept of burning desire, which is fueled by a clear vision of the goal. And so this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about and remind you, because some of you said, I don't know what my calling is. I'm not sure what I'm called to do. And I talk about a holy discontent. Here's another way to look at it: a burning desire. I've talked about a passion that you can't shake off, that you'll do no matter what, that you'll talk about no matter who's in the room, right? If they give you the flow, you'll just move towards talking about it. Like whatever I talk about, it always ends up around something to do with your identity, who you are, your purpose, right? Doesn't matter what topic I'm on. Why? Because that is something that I am passionate, super passionate about. Finding your purpose, living from your purpose, not living day to day, and then eventually ending up somewhere saying, what's the meaning of life? Okay, because our creator's already given us the meaning of life and he's put it in us. It's in our DNA, and living from that in everything we do. What's your burning desire, right? And if you have a burning desire, now I haven't got many people responding here, so I'm wanting to ask a question. How many of you are going to get this book and start reading it? And I want you to make, if you haven't responded, I want you to respond. It's really important. Okay. Awesome. I can see I'm holding up the book. So that means you're going to start reading it. So pop it in the chat group. Brilliant. You can download it on Spotify and listen. Beautiful. You can download it and listen to it. All right. Thank you, Mom Carol. So this is a mentorship. Okay. This is how we fly with the eagles and we push each other a little bit, bit. Okay. It's a bit of a big book, but just even if you read one page and that page transforms you. So remember, it's not about getting through a whole book that doesn't transform you. Sometimes I just read a chapter and that's all I need to transform me for the next 5 years. And if that's all you need, then do it. Maybe for the next month, maybe for the next week, maybe for the next hour, and then read the next page, right? Awesome. Hill often refers to the concept of burning desire, which is fueled by a clear vision of the goal. He believes that when you see yourself already in the possession of the desired outcome, it strengthens your beliefs, focus, and motivation, ultimately leading to the realization of your goals. Visualization is part of Hill's broader principles of positive thinking, faith, and persistence in manifesting success. Okay, so it's really powerful. Awesome. Listen to the audio twice. I love it. Good. Read it and will again. When you're who goes to the gym? If you go to the gym, or go for a walk, can you pop a 3 in the chat group? 333. If you go to the gym, go for a walk, have just 20 minutes to yourself, 30 minutes, pop the audio in there and just listen to it. I did that today when I was just on the treadmill at the end after my workout. Listen to some audio. It's exhilarating. It really changes your mind. Great. But a couple of people are going to get more active people in this place. Guys, awesome. Thank you. Participation is really important if we want to see transformation, okay? Participation is important. The power of intentional thought. Harnessing the power of thought means cultivating awareness, practicing mindfulness, and intentionally choosing thoughts that empower us, thus enabling us to take control of our lives in a more deliberate and positive manner. The power of intentional thought. That means that we are really being aware of our thoughts. Okay. I don't know if anyone has gone through that exercise. And if you have, awesome. But if you haven't, start to be intentional about thinking about what you're thinking. When you're happy, when you're stressed, when you're just going through and enjoying, when you're in different arenas, maybe going for a walk, when you're going to your workplace, when you're doing some work that you don't like, when you're doing some work you really love doing, just think about what thoughts are cycling through your mind. And you'll be amazed when you're more intentional with your thoughts, it'll lead and help you to streamline and take better pathways with your thoughts. Is this helping anyone? Yeah, just pop a 777 in the chat group for me if it is helping you. Okay, just to give you just to give me some feedback. This is helping you. Is this giving you something to work with? The Bible doesn't use the term mindfulness. I love some stuff that comes in the Bible, and so that's for me. It's a huge place of life that and direct by. Let me put it this way: my best mentor is what's in the Bible, right? However, the essence of mindfulness is there's no word for it, but the essence of it is in the Bible. Being present, aware, and intentional aligns with many teachings. For example, meditation on scripture. The Bible encourages meditation, which can be seen as a form of mindfulness. Psalm 1, verse 2 says, "But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night." So to meditate means you got to take some time out, right? You have to maybe have your eyes closed, or at least not be distracted, not have your thoughts running to places everywhere else. This form of meditation is about focusing the mind on God's word and being fully present in it. Okay. Now I'm being more aware that when I'm talking to my children, that I'm fully present and not on my phone. Doesn't work. It's 50-50 at the moment, but I'm being more aware that when someone is talking to me, that I try and put my phone down and I'm present with them. I noticed Aurelio is on now, and I love the fact that Aurelio said thank you to me one day last year. I don't know if Aurelio remember this. And I said, why? And he said, thank you for just having your phone down while we're in the cafe and just looking at me and talking to me. And I went, wow, thank you, because that's something I've been working on. I said, wow, okay, because he knows I'm a multitasker, and sometimes being a multitasker does not help. Okay, because it sounds like you're not being in that moment. So being fully present with yourself when you're meditating is a very powerful way of mindfulness. Secondly, in Psalm 46, verse 10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." This verse emphasizes stillness and being fully present in the awareness of God's presence. Mindfulness involves similar stillness and focus. Not just being still. Has anyone just been really super quiet and still for 10 minutes or even a minute, 30 seconds, just super quiet? Wake up in the middle of the night if you have to go to the bathroom, come back, and usually everyone's asleep. Hopefully there's no one next to you snoring. And you just go, just get into that place of being super quiet and hear yourself, become mindful of who you are. Thirdly, casting worries on God. Now, this is a big one for those who are of faith. Having someone bigger than us who's created us, who we can just cast our burdens on, is very helpful, right? Because there is no human being that can always be there to take our burdens. And we sometimes put expectations that are unrealistic on other people, but to be able to put it on God who created us is a very powerful thing. So in Philippians 4, 6-7, Paul writes, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." This speaks to mindfulness by encouraging believers to release anxiety and be fully present, trusting in God's care. Number 4, guarding thoughts. The Bible also teaches us about focusing our thoughts on positive things, which is a practice of mindful awareness. This is very important, guys, guarding thoughts. What are you thinking about, and are you guarding the negative thoughts that are killing you? All right. Have you ever had something where you're so upset about someone else, and there's an old saying that says it's like you're taking poison, you're drinking the poison, wishing the other person is going to die, because that's what negative thoughts, that's what resentment can do. That's what things are. When you buy into those, don't let your thoughts buy into them. Now, we can't stop, as we say, the birds flying over us, over our heads, but we can stop it from building a nest. What does that mean? Or stop? You may not be able to stop it from pooping on your head either, but when negative thoughts come, don't let it build a nest. Guard your thoughts. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." Number 5, self-control and awareness. 2 Corinthians 10:5 talks about taking every thought captive to obey Christ. This requires being aware of our thoughts, elevating them, and choosing to align them with God's will, similar to the mindful practice of observing and redirecting thoughts. And finally, overall, the Bible supports practices that encourage being present, focusing on God, and cultivating peace, all of which align with the principles of mindfulness. For believers, mindfulness can be a way of being more aware of God's presence, cultivating gratitude, and focusing on spiritual truths. How powerful is that? Okay. So practicing mindfulness, really important. So let's say this together. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. Come on, let's say it again. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. One more time. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. Let's say it one more time. I will never stop until my dreams become. See, sometimes you got to say it long enough for your subconscious to grab a hold of it, right? So let's say it again. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. So I want to say it 5 more times at your own pace. Count it down. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. 4 more times. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. I will never stop until my dreams become my reality. Wonderful. So let's do an exercise now with this in mind. We had a set of 5 questions last week that were just to get you to where your dreams are, your purpose, motive of heart. And I know that most of us here have looked through the motive of our heart, and we're not about trying to make millions and millions just for the sake of selfish ambition. It's that there is a purpose within us, and we're looking to make the millions, we're looking to make the hundreds of thousands, we're looking to make even the billions of dollars, based on the fact that we have a dream and a set of purpose and a set of dreams that we want to see manifest as well, both for us and for others. So here's the question I have for you that I want you to start to write. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to write this down, but here's an example of what I want to see take place, guys. Last time you wrote down, if you inherited 10 million USD today, what would you do with it? And you wrote lots of things down. Here's the part I want you to do. I want you to break it down into actual amounts, okay? For example, I want you to say 2 million to pay off all my existing debts. And then I want you to write all your debts down, all right? So that you have in your mind, why is it 2 million that I need? Okay, it might be to pay off mortgages. It might be to pay off some other assets. It might pay off credit cards, whatever it is, okay? $2 million in low to medium returns of 5 to 10% per year to produce an annual income. Now, I'm not saying these are your answers. I'm just giving you an example. So this is what I might do. I might say, hey, I'm going to put aside $2 million to produce at 5 to 10%, which is a low to medium return. It'll give me 100 to 200,000 per year passive style income. How many of you think that's a great idea? Right? Because I'm going to use some of that money off the bat to produce income that's ongoing, and $100 to $200,000 a year is a pretty good income to live off as a basic, right? For most people around any part of the world. 100,000 to invest in higher risk platforms to return 10 to 30% per month. 500,000 saved as emergency funds in a bank. Okay, so subtotal 4.6 million so far. All right. And then I would personally, for me, I would repeat a similar thing for P61. Have 2 million that will produce about 100, 200,000 per year. Have 100K invested in higher risk investments. Have 500K saved up as emergency funds for Project 61. Okay, and that comes to about 2.6 million. So what am I doing? I've broken up to personal debts and assets and giving beyond myself. Okay. So I want you guys to break this down in a minute. You're going to do this exercise yourself. And then I've created here legacy assets, 2 million out of the 10 million that I've got to invest into assets, like deposits for property that will produce more. Okay, I wouldn't pay off a whole property. I'd be going to the bank and using the bank's money. So rather than buying one property, I could probably buy 4 properties and allow the bank an appreciation to produce income. Invest in blue chip stocks and purchase quality crypto like Bitcoin, Ethereum, purchase of gold, silver, etc. Okay, so that's another 2 million. And then finally, personal enjoyment. The remaining 800K, could I enjoy with 800K? 100% yes. Spend on travel with family, purchase of quality items like cars, phones, clothes, etc. Because when you purchase some good quality stuff, they'll last long. All right. So how many of you are with me on this and get what the exercise is? Can you put a yes in the chat group? Put a no if you're not understanding this. I'll say it again, or put an IDK if I don't know. So why yes, no, or IDK. All right. And what I want to do is the whole idea of this is we talked about dreaming, or I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll help this person, I'll go here. But now what I want to do is bring it down to like actual amounts of money. How will you move these funds into different places? Because how many of you know that statistically, people who get rich, like winning the lottery, etc., within 5 years or less, end up being in the same financial position or worse than before they got the lottery? How many of you know this, right? Why? Because they have no financial intelligence on what to do. Okay, and this is why we're changing it, and we're building ourselves up into a place that we can pass this on as a legacy as well to others. Okay, so you guys getting this? So I got a few yeses here. Is anyone not getting it? Please say no, or IDK, I don't know, I'm not sure, because I want everyone to be participating in this. This is important if you want to progress. Okay, it doesn't change how I do what I do, but it's going to be important for you. Now, would you like me to keep this screen up or just keep the screen that has the question on it? Because I don't want this to be your answer, but it might help you with an example of it. So would you prefer me to keep this screen up, or I can put the screen that just has the question on it, and that way there's no distraction? So I can put this screen up, or I can put the one where I had everything that gave you examples. Which would you guys prefer? Everyone's quiet, so they don't mind. Maybe you guys just don't mind. All right, we'll start with this. And if you prefer the other screen up, let me know. Okay, I'll pop it on.